Hey guys, in today's video, I'm going to show you how to double the amount of content that you create with a simple framework that you can copy for yourself. So if you're trying to create content on a consistent basis for different social media platforms, one of the biggest challenges can be just coming up with new ideas day in and day out. And a common mistake would just be to make content in a vacuum and then just hope that it performs well and speaks to your audience. So one strategy I recommend using is to analyze your competitors' content and then see what's working for them, and then use as a launch pad for your own content strategy. So in today's video, I'm going to show you how to build an automation that will allow you to search for TikTok videos within your niche and then organize that data, sort it by likes, comments, and views. And then we'll use AI to analyze the data for trends, tell us what's working, what's not working, and to give us recommendations for our own content. So let's dive into it. Okay, so here we are in Airtable, and you'll see I've built a nice little dashboard. When I work on Airtable, I don't really like interacting with it using the table view. It's kind of boring and ugly, and so I always like to build out a nice little dashboard. And I've labeled this product TikTok Social Spy. And you'll see on the dashboard here, I have these buttons on the screen, and these buttons essentially take me to the same pages as you see here on the left. And so we're going to walk through that. You'll see here in Airtable, I have 3 tables: search queries, videos, and insights. We'll talk about that. This setup also requires some automations, that we'll set up in Airtable. Well, I'll show you how I did it. And then I'll also show you the make.com scenarios that I use to make this all work together. And I'll also show you the API that we're using to extract the data from TikTok. Essentially, we're using an actor on a website called Appify, and we're going to use that to scrape our TikTok video data. Okay, so let's go back to the dashboard. And well, let's start off with the data in the tables. So you'll see the first thing I did was I created a table called search queries, and it has a couple of columns. The first column is query. This is what I'm actually typing in, what I'm actually searching for in TikTok. Created is just the date that the search was completed. It has a status and a couple other tables here that are important. Number of videos to scrape. So when I run a new search query, I'm going to define how many videos I want to pull from TikTok. And then number of days old refers to how far back do I want to grab the videos. Do I want videos in the last 30 days, the last 60 days, the last 90 days? You can define how many days old you want to grab the videos from. So let me show you how you actually populate this data with the dashboard. So if you click here, add new search query, here's the form. I like working in web-based forms again, rather than tables. So here you just enter your query, the number of videos you want to scrape, and the number of days since published. So I'm going to go ahead and run this, and we can see it in action. So I also have this button over here that tells me all my previous searches. So you'll see I've already done searches like make.com for beginners, make.com versus NAN, what is ChatGPT. So if I want to do a new search, I can do something like, let's see, beginner's guide for NAN. So, or NAN for beginners. And let's do 5 videos. And we want videos from the last 30 days. So what you'll notice is when I click create, we're going to then go over to our actor in Appify. We'll see it actually running on Appify. So let's go ahead and run it. Hit create. All right, the form's been submitted. If we go over to Appify, we'll see that actor is now running. It says starting the crawler. And over here, back in our search queries, we see the status is actor is running, and NaN for beginners is the query. And look, it just changed from running to scraped. So it's all done. So how can we see the videos that we just scraped? Well, if we click over here on the left, we have videos, list view, and there it is, NaN for beginners. So here's all the videos that were just scraped. And that took what, maybe 15, 20 seconds, not too long. And so you have the title of the video here. You have the username of the channel, and you have the likes and views. So you'll notice that it's already sorted by likes and views at the top. So we know that this video got 218,000 views. So if you want to see that video, you just click on open URL, and that'll take you straight to that video on TikTok. So here's all the previous searches I run. It's currently organized by in alphabetical order. So you'll see, if I just click here, I can see all the previous videos. And you can also, if you want to, you can actually click on the title, and that will open up a little window on the right-hand side here. And you can see all the other information about that video. Likes, views, shares, comments, title, how long is the video, and when was it created. Okay, so that's all good, useful information to help you think about what videos are working in your niche. So let's go back to the dashboard. I want to just make sure I'm clear on all these buttons. So we already did that one. Search queries takes us back to our search queries. Videos, we've already seen that page. So really all this is doing is just another way to navigate to the same pages here on the left. And we can also, I also have a gallery view of all the videos here. And these are all the videos in my database, and they're stored or sorted by views. So the video up here at the top left has the most views, and the one at the bottom has the least amount of views. So these are also, this is also another view that you can use to organize and sort your data. Again, if you click on it, a little window pops out and gives you more information about that video. And then if you want to view it, you just click on the link.
We should worry about ChatGPT, but we...
Okay, so that's pretty cool. We go back to dashboard. And then we can analyze the current data. So what I've done here is I'm using ChatGPT to actually analyze all the data in the database and analyze it and look for trends and what's working, what's not working, and give me some feedback on the current data. So all you have to do is give your report a name like current trends and hit create, and that will trigger an automation that will go to make.com, which I'll show you in a minute, and we're going to feed it all the information that we have in the database, and ChatGPT is going to just analyze it for us. And then when we're done, we can just go to insights. And so here is an insight that I ran earlier today, and you can see what it came back with. It has recommendations. It has things like you need to, hey, focus on short, engaging content. Videos around 1 to 2 minutes appear to effectively engage and retain viewers. Leverage audience curiosity with catchy titles. Balance depth and simplicity. Optimize for search and discovery. Test different content themes. So it's a pretty cool feature if you have all this data, and then maybe in 3 months you're going to have more videos to add to your database, and you want to run this again because you'll have more data to provide to the ChatGPT. You can do that. You just go back to this form here and give it a name and hit create, and it will create a new report for you. Okay, so that's pretty much the interface. Let's go back to the data. So we have search queries, we have videos. Let's walk through the database for real quick. So we have status, we have the username of the channel, the title of the video, and we have likes, shares, views, comments, duration. When was it created? We have a URL of the video, the signature, and the cover. and then the search query that was used to find that video. And lastly, we have the insights table, which is where we store all the insights generated by ChatGPT. Okay, let's look at the automations real quick. So whenever you submit a new search query, which if you remember is this form here, we're going to have an automation that's triggered to run automatically within Airtable. So all it's saying is when a record is created on the search queries table, then we're going to run this script. Okay, so let's look at this script and see what it does. So you'll notice right away on the left-hand side, we have two variables defined, the webhook URL and the record ID. And all this code is doing is gathering those two variables. And then we're going to fetch that information in make.com. So what is the webhook URL? Well, if we go over to make.com, the very first thing we're going to run is an actor, which is on TikTok. So here is our webhook. If I click on it, you can see the URL is it starts with AIA and ends with WMFE. If we go back to TikTok, you'll see here it is right here, AIA and ends with WMFE. So there is the webhook. There it's going to be called whenever we submit that form. And it's going to, what is actually passing to make.com is also the Airtable record ID, which is sort of like a hidden unique record for that row in the database. And so if we go back to data, you can't really see it, but it's a hidden value that Airtable creates for every single row in your database that's unique. And so whatever search we do, we're going to pass that record ID to make.com because this is our search query. They're going to pass to the actor. So we're going to so what this is going to do is grab that row in this database. If we go back to, so let's say we just submitted NAM for beginners. So it's going to pass the record ID. And we're going to grab that record from that table. And then we're going to run our actor. So if I click on the Apify module here, here is the JSON that we're passing to the actor in Apify. We're giving it the oldest post date unified. This is referring to the number of days back you want to go. When you search for videos, you want to go back 30 days, 60 days, 90 days. That is a dynamic variable that's being inserted into the JSON. And then results per page is, remember if we go back to our form, number of videos to scrape, we're passing that. And then the search query. The search query would be, I have too many tabs open, NAM for beginners. That's where the query is being passed to the actor. And then finally, we're going to update the record with the run ID, which we'll use later. And then what's going to happen now is it makes a call to this actor in Apify and starts a new run. In fact, you can click on it here and see the last run I just did. And you can see all the results that came back from that actor. So there's all the information I'm storing in my database, right? And you can actually click on input and you can see the same exact JSON that I passed to the actor. That is the same thing that you see here. So there's the same JSON. Okay, so after that, what happens next? Well, I have another scenario here in make.com that is listening for a completion of that actor. And so this Apify module here, it's called Watch Actor Run. So it's actually watching for any time this actor is run, it's watching and waiting for anything for the next time it runs. It's just waiting. And so when it senses that an actor has run and it's completed, this scenario is fired automatically. And then what does it do next? Well, it goes to Airtable, and it will grab the record in the database table based upon the run ID. And remember, run ID was stored in our search queries table right here. We stored that earlier when we first did the search. And now that allows us to grab that record from the database. So now we have that record. The next thing we're going to do with Apify is get dataset items. So this is basically just grabbing all the data that's returned. So if you go back to Apify, if you go to output, this is what it's grabbing. These are the dataset items that it's grabbing. Okay, so we grab all our data. I create a variable here that takes the duration and which is given in seconds and divided by 60 to get the number of minutes. I think it's just easier to read instead of seconds, easier to read how long a video is in minutes. So I just create a variable here called duration in minutes. And then finally, we're going to add a new row to our videos table. So this is the module that will populate the videos table here. So if we look at it, we're going to set the status to scraped. We have username, title, likes, shares, views, comments, duration, created time, etc. So this is the module that actually adds a new video to our database. And then we use an array aggregator to sort of close that loop, because if you go back to our last run, we had what, 5? 1, 2, 3. We have 5 records that we were looping through. And so this data set items is going to run 5 times. And then this array aggregator is sort of like as a way to close off that loop of 5 and then do something different. So if we didn't do that, if we tried to update a record and we didn't add the array aggregator, then this module here would then run 5 times because it would be within that loop of 5, but we don't want that. So we use the array aggregator to close off the loop. And then finally, we're just going to update our search queries table and say, hey, we're done scraping and we're good to go. Okay, so that is the second module or second scenario in make.com. And the third scenario that you'll need to make this run, we don't need to save any changes. The third one is the insights. So remember, we're going to use AI to analyze all this data and give us some information like what's working, what's not working, give us recommendations. So let's go back to that. That's in the insights table. You'll see I already have one previously. And if we go back to our dashboard, again, we can run a report, just give it a name, hit create. It will run a new report. As soon as this is submitted, another automation is run. So let's go back to our automations and check it out. So right here, when a record is created, so whenever a new record is added to this insights table, that's our trigger. And what does it do? Well, it runs a script. What script is it running? Well, again, we have our webhook URL, which is defined by this webhook here, this address. So if I click on there, you can see this webhook starts with 2U3. We go back to our webhook, it's 2U3. So there we go. And again, we're passing the record ID. It's the same exact script as before. I use the same script all the time. And so it's going to send that information over to this scenario. And essentially what it's going to do is get all, this module here in Airtable gets all the data. So we're going to get everything from the videos table. In fact, we can take this off. I left 10 on there, but we want to take that off. Hit save. It's going to get all the data from our videos table here. It's going to aggregate all that data into this format. So what is the format? Well, we have the title, likes, shares, views, comments, duration, signature, and then a new line. So essentially what it's going to look like is every video is going to be in a block, a new line, a block, a new line, a block, a new line. So we're going to have all the data from every video we've scraped. It's going to be stored in a variable. And then now I have my ChatGPT module. So let's analyze this and see what I did to get this to work. Okay, so the first thing I did was I gave it a role using the developer system option. So here's what I said. You are an expert data analyst. You will be given data about videos on TikTok, such as views, comments, shares, likes, and length. Your role is to analyze the data and provide insights as to what's working and what's not working and provide recommendations. Your information is vital to the success of my content creation strategy. I will use these insights to help me create my own content. And then for the user, this is your role, what you're providing to the prompt, or the prompt that you're providing to the AI. Analyze the following content and look for trends, patterns, and anything I should know about what kind of content I should focus on. And so text is coming. You see it bouncing over here when I hover my mouse over it. That tells me that I'm passing it the right information. I'm passing it from the text aggregator. And so I'm passing it all the data from our database. And then the last thing I'm doing is just updating my record in the database. There's a column called Insight. So I go back to my table. Insight here is the column name. I'm just going to update that with the results from ChatGPT right here. And again, if we go back to my this view, you can click on it and see the last one I ran. It gives me all this information about the current data. Okay, so that's in a nutshell how it all works together. It's a lot of moving parts, but once you get the basics down, it's actually quite simple. So I'm going to make all this information available to you to download for free. If you click on the link in the description, you'll be able to download all these templates and tables and set this up for yourself and off for the races. So I hope this video was helpful. If you have any questions or comments, leave them in the comment section below, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.